It's 7:40. Let's do this. Good evening, Hampton Roads. Good evening, Northeast North Carolina. My name is David Aldrich, Chief Meteorologist of WTKR News 3 Television, and you are watching First Warning Live, where we focus on all things weather, things that you might not find anywhere else. This is sponsored, by the way, by Marco's Pizza, who by generous means they're giving away free pizza in this live stream. In fact, we're going to have 11 winners. Somebody's going to win pizza for a year. Some of you might get some individual pizzas with one topping. You're going to love that, so stay with us. We're going to do that at the top of the hour at 8 o'clock, but a lot of weather between now and then. But cool now, but warmer days ahead. You know how cool it was today. Some of you thought, this is weird. It's really weird because it felt like early October. Today's high temperature, are you ready for this? It hit 77. Something's wrong with the thermometer. I know it's even cooler than the stretch. We had like a stretch 4 days at 79. Today was the coolest day going back to the 16th of June in Norfolk. 16th of June. That's like 7.5 weeks ago. I know, because I looked it up. Isn't that wild? The record high 105 from 1918. That's back when Woodrow Wilson was in the White House. Long time ago. But if you're interested in these cool days, you might like the fact that we've now had 7 days below normal. We're not going to see another day above normal until more likely, until next week. Probably by Tuesday we'll get back to normal. But if you like this weather, and some of you do, I think, I'm looking at Alice. Is she on here? Alice said, yeah, this is from yesterday, but she wanted to say hello to you and just say hi. Yes, me too. I'm ready for cooler weather, please. Thank you, Alice. I appreciate your note because you know what? One of the things we like to do is highlight and recognize people who are on the call. So if you're a first-time viewer, Alice is just letting us know that she approves of the cooler weather. At least I would think so. I think so. And many of you like say, is that all we can do? No, we can do more. I know that Taj Brown he was like, oh yeah, feeling grateful. I'm grateful that you're here, Taj. If you're still here, this was from yesterday. But we're going to put some focus on today's comments here coming up in just a moment. Let me clear my telestrator. We've got some more weather to talk about. Look at this. Is this not amazing? This is where we were last week in July, right? These represent the heat indices. The feels like temperatures in the last week of July were 106, 101, 101, 102, 110, 102, 106. Oh, you don't need to tell me, Aldrich. You know the dew points and those values because they don't keep records based on how it feels. We keep records on how it actually is. But the National Weather Service, as I learned from our good buddy Dave Parker. You know Dave Parker, former meteorologist? I had a chance to interview him today because we're doing a weather story that might come out pretty soon, and I just thought it was interesting. He says it goes back to the 1940s. We haven't had dew points so outrageously high, according to him, from his research, since the 1940s. So if that seems in keeping with what you expected, you saw this back in July. It's a topsy-turvy, hot one month, cool the next. It's like low tide in the morning, it's high tide in the afternoon. And it's the same beach, it's the same town. But sometimes that's the way weather works. Isn't that cool? I think it's cool. By the way, you know what's also cool? It's the fact that we have a cool sponsor. I want to thank Marco's because they are giving out free pizza. If you don't win tonight, and I really hope you do, I've got the winners in my computer already. But WTKR, please go to our webpage to register because we give out winners every Thursdays during the live stream. We're going to do it at 10 o'clock. We're going to do it at 8 o'clock. That's about 15 minutes from now. But there are 5 convenient locations in Hampton Roads, Virginia Beach, 3 of them, 1 in Chesapeake, 1 in Norfolk, that is participating. So you can redeem your free pizza certificate at these locations. There's also, as we mentioned, what these certificates look like. It looks like this. It's like a punch card. We're now in August, so you can punch each one. Each month you're getting a 1-topping pizza, next free for a year. And of course, we also have, if you've been paying attention this week, we're also giving away, or at least a real discount, for a lunch combo. This is good between 11 and 3. If you go to marcos.com and use this promo code, because WTKR, those are our TV call letters, and then the word lunch, you can get any one of these. Pick one of the 5 here, right? 5 different opportunities: pizza bowl, small 1-topping, pozole, salad, or a 6-inch sub. You can get that for just $7.99, which is a real steal, real deal, my view, because you're really hard pressed to walk out or drive through a drive-through for less than $12, $15, or what have you. So just throwing that out there. Let's go back, because I know we can do this. Let's go back and talk about the weather. Some of you had a lot of rain, some of you had a little, so let's just do some comparison, right? Places like Jackson, 0.38 yesterday, almost 2 inches in Emporia, while it was a goose egg in Suffolk yesterday. So just putting this out there for comparison. 0.07 of an inch in Norfolk, nothing in Currituck. And if you look at today, we had, well, we like shuffled the deck, right? Virginia Beach had 0.38 today, most of that in the pre-dawn hours of this morning. A quarter inch, Elizabeth City, and about 0.06 in Jackson. Norfolk picked up a total of 0.2, because some of it came before midnight, some of it, 0.13, came after midnight. So we picked up 0.2 of an inch just since last night. So all this again is to say that sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, some people get rain, some people don't. It's just, it's the story of the haves and have-nots. But right now it looks like it's raining again around Kerala. I see some rain over here. What are you looking at? I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this right over here. See this area? It's beginning to fill in. So you may say it's dry where I am, or maybe it's fine on Roanoke Island, but it might be raining not far from Kerala. So just wanted to share that with you. If you have something you want to share with me, I'll do my best to put it on the screen, because that's what I like to do. I like to take the opportunity to ask you, hey, if you're watching us live, this would be a great opportunity for you to let me know what you're thinking, and we'll do our very best to kind of put you on the screen. And I got a note from Kim. She wants to say hello, and I'm also going to fly back in here and say hi to Kim as I clear off the telestrator. She says, good evening, David. Kim, these cool days must bring a smile to your face, because we've had enough of these little exchanges on the live stream where I know you and others like Denmark are not a fan of the hot, humid weather. But now we're getting the reverse, right? The people say, oh, it's too cool. If it's too cool for you, too cool for school, please let me know. Because I'm just kind of, I'm just the messenger, but I love the fact that she's on here and we're just keeping this very light and conversational. All right, we're going to go back to the maps. The radar looks like this. Current conditions look like we got a lot of clouds. And these are connected to what we call the METARs. These are connected to the airport observations. Some of these airports are big, some of them are small, but the weather observations in Franklin, Norfolk, all show a lot of clouds blanketing the area. You probably don't need me to tell you that, but that's what we see based on the latest observation as of 7 o'clock. Now, these numbers I have not shown you. This is the rainfall versus normal for the first, 6 months or so. Now we're in the 8th month. August so far is now a negative 1.19. So it means we, at this time of the month, we're over an inch below normal for August. We had a surplus in February. That was the big snowstorm. And we had a surplus of rain in May. Now, some of this, again, is academic because not everybody lives near or around the airport, but it gives you some comparison that we're running about 2 inches below normal for the year. That means we're not, I repeat, even though it might seem like it's dry, all things considered, we're not even registering on the NOAA's drought monitor, which came out today. You mean this came out today? It did come out today. So I thought I'd show you. There's no coloring here. We got one area, maybe southern Bertie. Southern Bertie, you've got your way to represent. You are abnormally dry in southern Bertie, but nothing to write home about. You can kind of expand the view. I can see that there's some real issues, it looks like, in South Florida. You got family in Florida. If you're in the military, you got family down in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, they could use some rain. They're now into level, level 4 in red? That's the extreme. Some areas around Fort Lauderdale are in an extreme drought, could use some rain. And if you look back to our friends in Knoxville, because of course I've been there 15 years, it would appear that parts of Blount County are dealing with abnormally dry, if not moderate, because this is a little brown area right here is moderate. So there are some areas in West Knox County that would include Hardin Valley, Farragut, possibly over towards Solway, and into parts of Maryville could use a little bit of rain. And that seems maybe contrary to what you want, but that's where it shows up, at least from our drought monitor from NOAA. Extreme drought conditions continue in parts of South Texas, all across parts of Vegas, well, they're a desert, but southern sections of Arizona and back to the west of Denver. They could use some rain, as could some sections of Idaho, Montana, and let's say parts of north central sections of Washington state. Do we have anybody on the call? Oh, I do see Kim. She's a follow-up. I want to say hi to Kim. She says, yes, I need to stay like this the next few days, please. We'll do that. But all bets are off once we get to Tuesday, because Tuesday I have us at 89, Wednesday at 91, and you might say, okay, but at least it won't necessarily feel like as extremely hot as those heat indices would suggest from the last week of July. I don't think we're going to find dew points that high, nor do I expect the temperatures to be that high. It'll be warm, but not necessarily that bad. Let's see. I got a note from Kim. She says, oh, I found a Marco's in Suffolk today, but I guess they aren't the fun weather pizza giveaways. That's exactly right. There we got Marco's pretty much all around the country. They actually, Marco's, I had to do some reading up on it, but they believe they started in Toledo, I believe Pat Gianmarco was from Italy, came to Michigan, worked in a pizzeria, and hence it's kind of spread all over. But yes, those 5 places, and soon to be 6, because there's going to be one on South Battlefield near the Great Bridge Middle School. That should be opening up more likely around September. So stay tuned. I do know there's pizza, but if you want to order, you can check them out. I'm sure they would love the business. By the way, drought monitor shows very dry conditions, as I mentioned, out west, and some hot spots there in South Florida. Current temperature here at 750. We have 75 Chesapeake, 77 Hampton, 74 in Wallops Island. And the 24-hour temperature change would suggest it's cooler in Nags Head by 3 degrees compared to this time last night, but it's +7 in Wakefield. They're a lot warmer now at 76 compared to where they were last evening. Now, Franklin Southampton County Fair, I just want to throw this out there. We're going to focus on some events. You know, if you haven't been to the fair, the carnival, all the festival, this is the time of year. You know that, right? So tomorrow is going to look a lot like today, and tomorrow is going to look a lot like yesterday. So it's like a repeat performance with 40% chance of showers. But if you're going to be moving around on Saturday, like many of us are, the 30% chance I think will be more concentrated in the Outer Banks. The winds will be a little busier tomorrow, 10 to 25, more like 10 to 15 on Saturday. I hope that helps your planning. I know a lot of folks, we were talking about from Kim, about how you can get out and enjoy this weather. Here's another example. How about the Harbor Park game with the Rochester Red Wings? Tomorrow night is the Filipino-American Heritage Night. So they're celebrating a lot of folks locally at Harbor Park. Temperatures are going to be cooling back into the 70s. First pitch is at 6:35. I expect a 30% chance of rain. And winds are still busy, 10 to 15, generally out of the east, northeast. That's for that game. But what about football, David? Come on, don't leave me out. Don't leave me out. We got football fans. We have some Commander fans. I admit I'm an Eagles fan, but I can respect NFC East, man. I'll tell you what, if you're a football fan, Commanders from Southeast Virginia, maybe the Outer Banks, maybe you're in North Carolina, but you could be anywhere. You could be, maybe you got family in Chicago or Louisville or Memphis. Let's just zoom in because this is important. This is your forecast, right? We have a preseason game where Foxborough, you're not going to zoom into Foxborough. Yeah, I am. Is it okay if I do that? I mean, oh, I like that. That was smooth, Aldrich. Way to go with the graphics. 72, 64, 60. Now I come back on camera because I did some homework. That's just what I do. I like to keep tomorrow. They're going to hit 82, I suspect. But Boston hit 77 today. Their normal high is 81. Normal low is 66. I suspect, because he did look it up, the sun sets at 7:55. This game is slated to start at 7:30. That means there's only 25 minutes before they go under the lights. But they will find mostly clear skies for this game, and we're excited because we're telegraphing it and we're telecasting. What am I saying? We're putting it on. We're broadcasting it here on WTKR tomorrow night with Mark Davis, our sports guy, great sportscaster. So anyway, check us out. 72, 64, 60. You might have family already there, but this is not like they're not going to get snowed in August. They're going to have great weather in August for the big game against the Commanders. Do we have any Commanders fans? How many Eagles fans? This could be a great little conversation to have on this stream, is to see who likes which team. I got a note from James Washington. I want to say hi to him. Good evening, my friend. Thank you for being here. If you have a weather question, that's what this whole platform is designed to do. And James, I'm a work in progress. I'm not the finished product. Still working this out, still working out the kinks with software and all the rest, but I'm really glad you're here. And we really are happy that we're going to be giving away pizza in about 6 minutes. Your name might have been registered in there, and they put it in like a little bowl, and they randomize it, and then they give them to me. I put it in the computer. So I know the names of the winners. We're going to do that in about 6 minutes. So let me keep moving as I once again clear off the telestrator. Let's go back to the maps because these temperatures are going to be nice and comfortable for anyone who might be at the Commanders' first preseason game tomorrow night. Satellite radar, it looks like it's raining around Corolla. It looks like we've got a few sprinkles here or there. And to be fair, some of this not all reaching the ground. Looks like a few showers have moved through and around Hatteras, perhaps Ocracoke, and also Raleigh too, with this little trough that's implied there in the western part of Virginia, North Carolina. It's becoming the focal point for rain showers in Tennessee, eastern Kentucky, as well as parts of central North Carolina. Oh my goodness, this beach forecast doesn't seem to change. It is another day of high rip current risks. What's going on? There's a lot of chop. You look at the seas right, man. There's a lot of chop. 3 to 6 feet. That's the surf height expectation for tomorrow. How do you know it's tomorrow? Because I got Friday here. But the winds are going to be busy out of the northeast, 10 to 25. So low tide tomorrow is at 132. It's a very important time because that's usually when the rip currents reach a fever pitch, their intensity. But we've talked about this many times. I'll do it again. Just please, if you happen to be in the water, please pay attention to lifeguards. Look at this is a live look. These seas, the ocean looks angry. Does it not look angry to you? So just be respectful of the lifeguards who are out there trying to save people's lives. But just make sure you swim parallel to the shore. If you can't, just float until you tread water. And if you need help, wave and call for attention. Hopefully we can get you taken care of. Maybe it's not you. Maybe even if you think you're a great swimmer, it could be someone in your family that could be fighting a rip current this summer. So make sure you take care of the necessary take care of the necessary precautions. By the way, Dexter is now post-tropical. Essentially, he's no longer an issue. But last check, he had winds of 60. It might come close to a hurricane. It's got winds of 70 tomorrow morning. Where are you looking? I'm looking right here. Just look. This is from the Hurricane Center. They have winds of 70. Right now it's 60. But they don't think this, it's 50, 30. It's just going to weaken, right? It's almost, I wouldn't spend much time on this on television because I only get 3 minutes of time. But if you're curious, where did Dexter go? I watched the Showtime show. Where did Dexter? Dexter's heading out to sea. He's not a problem anymore. Now, what has been moving south of us has still a 20% chance. Confidence has been dropping. It was 40% 2 days ago. It was 30% last night. And now it's 20%. So whether or not that particular area gets a name is academic. What's more likely to happen is this 60% chance down here. As you can see, this has the potential of becoming what we would call Aaron. Why would you call it Aaron? Aaron has the potential to move like this. All these little spaghetti noodles, we call them spaghetti plots, they're moving into the central part of the Atlantic. Most of them seem to be in agreement. While there could be some outliers that might move it further west, we won't know for sure, but at least it gives hopefully some comfort. It's probably, at this juncture, probably not headed here down the road. 24-hour or 2025 hurricane season names on the screen. So we've got Aaron, and we got Ferdinand and Gabrielle as the next 3 names on the on-deck circle. I got some other notes. I got a note from James. I love having these follow-up conversations. James, thank you for participating. He says, I'm in Norfolk. As I clear off my telestrator, he says, I'm in Norfolk, Virginia. I'm glad that you're here. So this forecast that I'm presenting to you has application for you. Now, if someone's watching from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, they might say, it didn't really matter to me whether this weather guy, maybe I have a Pittsburgh watcher who's a Commanders fan. Maybe I was able to reach that person that way. But this situation for the tropics is at least looking more favorable that it will stay out to sea. The Atlantic storm timeline shows we've got a peak usually in September. It's around the 10th of September that we usually see a lot of activity begin to blossom. By the way, we're 2 minutes away from pizza. Hang with me. We're going to be giving away some pizza, and that means a little bit of Marcos for you, maybe if you're a winner, and just stay with us. Scattered showers on Friday. That's tomorrow. There will be plenty of clouds again tomorrow, just like today, just like yesterday. Clouds and cool air will continue on. Lower rainfall chances on the weekend, and then highs near 90 by midweek. I'm expecting that to occur around Wednesday. So if you like it a little bit warmer, hang in there. It will get warmer down the road. All right, so I want to show you this. This is the national map, and where we see these little orange areas. If you watch me regularly, you know that those are the severe thunderstorm warnings. So we've got several in Montana. Looks like a nasty storm in northern parts of North Dakota. If I'm not mistaken, we got one from Burke County until 8 p.m. Wow, 1.5 inch size hail. So that's some pretty large hail, probably closing in on ping pong ball or golf ball size, I should say. And then it looks like Divide and Williams counties till 7:30. So there's some hot spots in the far northern plains states. That's dealing there. We've got one that looks like in northwest Kansas right now. I believe that's also severe until 7:15. So considerable damage. Considerable is the threat that the National Weather Service has placed on that particular cell. But at least back home, really, there's not a whole lot to be too worried about. I see one in Michigan. You have to squint to see it. But there's one over here as well around Sanborn. It looks like probably until about 8:30 Central Time, there's a severe thunderstorm there. Okay, so I'm just looking at the clock. I realize we're pretty close to 8 o'clock, so it is time. As I've mentioned, I'm going to give away some pizza, and I want to thank our friends at Marco's for being as generous as they are, because they're always giving back to the community. It's one of the things I love about them. All right, so let's go. Let's do this. Are you ready for the pizza? It's 8 o'clock. Some of you are like, yes, bring it on. Here it is. The winner, big week is big winner of the week, would be the free Marco's pizza for a year. And some of you are like, yay! Oh, I forgot. I always forget this. I like to include a little bit more fun and animation. So let's just add some confetti. Yay! I love the confetti. Anyway, thank you so much. The winner of this week is actually from Suffolk, Erica Robinson. Congratulations to you. Marco's Pizza is going to be giving you a nice certificate that looks just like this. So, Erica Robinson from Suffolk, congratulations. You have just won pizza for a year on this live stream. One large, one topping. It will be mailed to you, snail mail. It's probably on its way now, but I can tell you this, it's free. So you'll be able to get your first pizza here this month in August, then September, and then once you get to December, you could start over on the left side, do January, February. But you'll get 12 months. We love this, and we love giving out the free pizza. So if you're on the call, just a reminder, Erica, if you're on the call and are watching this in real time, please let us know. I'll put you on the screen. Love to hear what you think. But this week's winner, congratulations to Marco's Pizza's winner of the week is Erica Robinson. Now, we're not done. Some of you are like, congratulations. Absolutely. Erica should be congratulated if you're watching us live. That's kind of fun. Now, the other winners. Do we have other winners? We're giving away individual pizzas because remember, this one was for the year. Now we're going to give away 10 individual pizzas. Some of you are like, yeah, that's fun too. I'll take a free pizza. How about this? Free large Marco's Pizza with one topping. I didn't have room to put the one topping at the top here, but there is a one topping in there. It's implied. If you just want it cheese, just tell me you want it cheese. But I think some of you might want at least one topping. But the first two winners go to Betty Burton from Hayes, that's the town, in Gloucester County. Congratulations, Betty. You might have to drive a little bit. Meaning like into the stores that we were talking about, because we were talking about specifically the stores that are participating in the contest specifically are these 5 stores. 3 in Virginia Beach, 1 in Chesapeake, 1 in Norfolk, and soon will be across the street from Great Bridge Middle School, the one on South Battlefield, most likely to open sometime in September. We'll keep you posted. But if you didn't win tonight, and I'm still giving away winners, you can still go to our webpage, go to WTKR.com/Marcos, and you will be able to get into the pool. Now, if you've registered before, you don't have to register again. Somebody asked me that last week or the week before. Yeah, if you've registered once, you're good. You're still in the pool of applicants. But we wanted to at least announce who would be winning today. So we mentioned the free pizza. We could go ahead and clear off the telestrator. But the first 2, Betty Burton, Hayes, Gloucester County, and Courtney Hardy. Congratulations, Courtney. You have just won a large Marco's Pizza from Virginia Beach. We don't have to stop there. In no particular order, number 3 and 4 are now on the screen. Deandra Golson, Virginia Beach. Oh, I know her. Maybe that's what you're thinking. I don't know her, but somebody's watching. I hope she shares. Maybe she will. Ask her, hey, would you share some of your pizza? Maybe just a slice. Deborah Breland in Hampton. Congratulations to you. You also will have to reach out to the 5 stores in order to redeem your free pizza. I want to go on to number 5 and 6. We got Felicia Byram in Chesapeake. Congratulations, Felicia. You just won a free Marco's Pizza, 1 topping. And maybe, is this Jacqueline Smith? Now, this isn't Charlie's Angels, Jacqueline. Maybe it could be. I don't know. But some from Norfolk, Jacqueline Smith. All joking aside, Jacqueline just won a free Marco's Pizza. That is for real. She is one of our winners tonight. Let's keep it moving. Number 7, Crystal Jacobs, Norfolk. Congratulations, Crystal. You've just won a free Marco's Pizza. Certificate will be mailed to you in the coming days. You can redeem it at any time. Madeline Marino from Chesapeake. Congratulations, Madeline. She's also pretty close to one of the stores in Kempsville, as is Felicia. And then lastly, we got number 9, number 10, as we'll get back to the weather. Number 9 is Michael Daughtry from Virginia Beach. And last but not least, Rachel Phillips, Virginia Beach, just won a free large pizza, 1 topping, from Marco's Pizza. Now, if my math is correct, that's 10 people. And if my math is correct, this is number 11. We've just given away 11 pizzas, but of course, Erica gets 11 more because she's got a whole year's worth. But how cool is that? I just think it's pretty sweet. And like I said, they didn't have to do this. I do know that Marcos really loves weather. So this is what we're doing. We're just experimenting. This is something different. Not everybody's going to do this. If you didn't win, but you feel like you want to win, you can win here by using the lunch combo. It's just WTKR lunch. You can pick any one of these one topping, a pizza bowl, a Pizzoli, a regular size salad, or a 6-inch sub of any kind, and get a 20-ounce drink, all for $7.99. But there's a catch in the time. They're very time specific. It's 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., and it's only good through Saturday because it's a deal of the week. That's one of the things we like to do with each week is something different, and Marco's always thinking outside of the pizza box, as I like to say. So just excited about that. Now let me reset, because I know we've been talking about weather, now we're back to pizza. Let's go back to weather. Let's go back to weather, because that's what you're here for. We've been talking about the rain situation, how erratic it's been. The normal rainfall is 5.88 for the month, and we've already established we're about 1.95 below for the year to date. We did receive 700s officially yesterday. We picked up 0.13 so far today. So we're now, again, slowly getting up, or hoping to catch back up to speed. Highs today, exceedingly cool. We hit 77. As I mentioned, that's typical of October. Are you ready for that? That's typical of October 1 through 3. So the first 3 days of October, a normal high of 77 is the first 3 days of October. And we haven't been this cool since the 16th of June, which is about 52 days ago. But who's counting? That's a long time ago. But some of you got up to 80. I'm looking at Newport News at 80, Gloucester 80, 78 Franklin, Ahoskie at 76. If you're looking for 90-degree days, you picked the wrong month. Why would I say that? Because the wrong month means we've only hit 80 twice this month. We don't, much less than 90. But we have, if you're playing and keeping track at home, we've now had 27 days so far this year, and we average over 30 years just about 36 days. So I know these are a little weird. How do you get 15 and a half days? That's because it's divided by 30 years. So you can round up. That typically we see 14 days, or 14 and a half, 15. We had 12 in June and July. So both months, we had a hot June and we had a very, very humid July. So now it's like the pendulum is going the other direction. Current temperature, 75 in Suffolk. Check in the comments review. 74 in Cape Charles, our friends in Currituck. Currituck says 75 degrees. I got another note from James. I love the fact James is on here. He's saying thank yous. You're welcome. You know what's fun is the fact that I know you are out there, right? I can't necessarily act or interact with everybody that leaves a comment, but I like the fact that if there's something that you want to see, I'll do my best to put it on the screen. I just love to go with this. I got a note from Kim. She's going to taunt me because I'm an Eagles fan. She says, "Let's go Commanders." You know, they're going into hostile territory. It's called Foxborough. I know they don't have Tom Brady anymore. Boy, am I showing my age. But, you know, they got to play the Pats. That's not easy. And, boy, do we have a Patriots fan now on the weather team with Tony Nargi. He just started, by the way. We'll forgive him for that. But he's from Boston. He's from that area. So this is what happens, you know. We've got a spirited, lively, spirited neighborhood with different football interests. Isn't that cool? And it's great because it keeps everybody all energized, I hope, anyway. I got another note from, who else is on here? Marilyn Bell. I want to say hi to you. Marilyn says, "Good luck, pizza winners." See, that's what I love. People aren't just, "Oh, I didn't win." We got people who say, "Hey, congratulations." She says, "Good luck, pizza winners. Hope you enjoy. The Marco's Pizza just had a big storm roll through White Pine, Tennessee, and we got 2 beautiful rainbows." Isn't that cool? 2 beautiful rainbows. Thank you for sharing that, Marilyn, because you know what? Sometimes we need to be reminded that every day is a gift. Sometimes you can get rainbows, sometimes you get lousy weather, but you got to take the good with the bad, because what's the alternative? I don't want to think about the alternative. The alternative is that, you know, the fact that we've got air in our lungs and we're still kicking, that's a good thing. So I think there's some wisdom to the fact that every day is, in fact, a gift. All right, we got to keep moving. These are the temperatures. 76 in Carrollton. Dew points are back in the 60s, so it's not as comfortable as it felt last weekend. Dew point change. Why do I show you this? It just shows you the trend. It's about -4, -5. We're about 4 or 5 degrees less humid now than we were this time yesterday. And of course, the dew point numbers are going to change too. They're going to be going back up to around 70. They were around 67 today, if not close to that. And here's where I expect to be the next couple of days. So if we get a pullback, it's likely to be on Sunday, Monday. But, you know, 66, where does that fit on our scale? Humid versus unpleasant, right? So we really kind of, it certainly beats miserable. We were miserable the last week of July. I don't think anybody would argue that. And once you get your air conditioning bill or your electric bill, you'll be like, man, I'm glad the cool weather is here, because that hot weather was put a damper on the wallet and the budget. All right, dew point temperature 60 in Beckley. It's pretty sticky in Knoxville, where not far from where Maryland Bell is in White Pine. Sticky in Hatteras 73. Myrtle Beach, very, very humid at 75 degrees. We got to keep moving. It's 8:09. Our temperatures in Knoxville 83. You might have family in Pittsburgh. They're at 78. And it's 74 in Virginia Beach. It's 77 in Hatteras. So those are the current readings here at 8:10. Pick your favorite town, my friend. These are the national current temperatures as my computer updates them. It is right now in Phoenix, 117. But fear not, they have single-digit dew points, which means it's hot, but it's not humid. Same thing with Vegas. Vegas is extremely hot. I got a brother that lives in Vegas. He and his wife live in Vegas. They've been out there since, I guess, a very long time. 106. That's hot. And we've got some hot weather in Oklahoma, Dallas, San Antonio is 97. So you don't have to look far. Lubbock's 98. Albuquerque's 97. I only show this to you because eventually, if you look in the big picture, we are exceedingly cool over here compared to the rest of the country. So I'm sure there would be some people who would be wishing that we could be cooler. Let me show you where we're going. I have mentioned on this live stream to give you some weather intel. When you hear me say I've got some weather intel, right, I like to provide it for you. I think by the time we get around August 19th, we're going to see a cool down. We're getting close to 17. You can already see how yellow it is in New England. And I can assure you that while we might be warming up next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, eventually by the time we get to the 19th and 20th, we're going to get another cool shot. Cool shot. That means there's probably very little hope of getting back to normal in terms of 90-degree days this August. You'd be hard-pressed to make up for lost time. And when you look at this map, you can clearly see it's green in Quebec. And it's very cool colors up here toward Maine as well. So this coolness will likely be moving down here, I think, between the 19th, 20th, and beyond. So there's an opportunity to see this go back down once again. Temperature trend goes right back to 89. Oh, I thought you said it's going to get cool. We got to get warm before we get cool again, right? It's like the ocean. It's like the tide, it's like high tide, low tide, all on the same day. We're headed in that direction. Rain chances here at 8:12 would actually stair step back to 20. That means there are stray showers these days. And maybe, right now, the best chance for this 40% coming to pass may very well be the Outer Banks, which I'll show you graphically here in a moment. In fact, here it is. This is, I love showing this because you're going to see just how difficult, given all the tools, all the supercomputers, all the supermodels, I don't mean like Sports Illustrated supermodels, I mean like the computer models. We're using supercomputers. They can vary. I mean, this is just one model. Look at it. You look at this and you're like, oh my goodness, it has like 3 inches in around Outer Banks. Maybe if this were to verify, you'd say it rained really hard down there, but it didn't rain all that hard in Peninsula, Eastern Shore, or inland Virginia. This is just one solution. It would appear that Roanoke Island is red, so there are probably 3 to 4 if this were to verify. But hold the phone. There are more solutions than just this one particular model. This is a different solution from a different perspective using a different set of equations. It says, no, it's just 0.6 in Edenton. No, it's just 0.7 in Nags Head. That's a big difference. 3 inches, let's put this here, and 0.7. That's a big range, Aldrich, I know. So just be mindful that when it rains, it can pour. And this is the situation of how erratic, when you have a low off the coast of Wilmington, Wrightsville Beach, that it slowly begins to meander, depending on the proximity or the track, the timing in the track, the T's, all going to play a role of whether we get closer to 0.7 or we get closer to 3 inches or more for Roanoke Island. So if you're in Manio, just keep your guard up because, again, a lot can change. These things have been changing all week if you've been watching me day after day. By the way, it's Eastern Shore time for Friday. UV index is not that high. It's a 6. Bloxham, 79. Chincoteague, 89. Is that right? That can't be right. I think they had bad data there. 78 in Exmoor. 78 in Onancock. Cape Charles, about 77. Looking for a high in Manio around 78. Still a 40% chance of rain there, and about 77 for Duck. And even lower index, UV index there at 4. So we got a lot of clouds tomorrow. If you liked it today, you're going to love it tomorrow. Look at this live look I mean, we're coming up now because the sun goes to bed now at 8:00. Well, it went to bed at 8:05, so almost 10 minutes ago. But you can see the lights are on in Norfolk. You can see the angry seas that are going on right now in the ocean front, and you can see some of the pictures there in Williamsburg. So we obviously have a lot of clouds that we're not going to shake all that quickly tomorrow. Storm Prediction Center looking at some colors, the green, the yellow, isolated and scattered. And not often do you see level 3. What was level 3? Numerous. Are we looking at the right thing? Yeah, this is numerous. If you see the word numerous, or if you see the orange, that's level 3. Sadly, we've got some parts of the country, namely North Dakota, that's in the crosshairs for numerous severe storms. That includes Bismarck, it includes Minot, includes Fargo, Williston has maybe scattered in yellow. So these are the hot spots between now and 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Clearly no issues here on the East Coast, but if you have family there, that could be of value to you. If you are concerned about the weather tomorrow and you're doing some traveling by air travel, what have you, Minneapolis, St. Paul might have some issues, as could Fargo, Aberdeen, but the energy moves a little bit further east into northern Wisconsin, just on the edge of Green Bay, but really nothing here locally, so we kind of can scratch that off the list. And lastly, for Saturday, no severe weather here, even though here meaning Hampton Roads and the Outer Banks, just not going to see severe weather. We'll get rain in spots, but not necessarily severe. But that's a different situation in Waterloo, La Crosse, and just around Green Bay. They might have some nastier storms that reach severe limits, as could Kansas City, Denver, and down toward Amarillo, Texas. So hopefully that also helps you get a bird's eye view. But when I said this is all depends on a very slow moving low, I meant that. Look at this. Is this weird? Because this is like a railroad track that's stalled, and really depending on how close it comes to the Outer Banks may determine whether or not we get 0.7 or closer to 3 inches in places like the Outer Banks. Futurecast shows it's already beginning to rain around Corolla. Maybe this model has some good initialization points here, but we move into 7 a.m. tomorrow. There will be a lot of clouds. Can't say you can't get some sunshine, but even at 12 noon, these drops want to come back. Some of them may reach the ground, some of them might not, but I'll tell you this, these winds are going to be busy, roughly about 10 to 25 miles per hour during the course of the day. So we got this wind going on, 5 o'clock tomorrow. This is the transition point. 5 p.m. tomorrow, it's sunny in Franklin, it appears it's cloudy in Virginia Beach, and then voila, this is 11 o'clock tomorrow night. So if you go to Harbor Park for that great game I was talking about, if you go to the Tides and Rochester Red Wings game, you may enjoy some good weather because the clouds may be breaking over Harbor Park during the ball game. So grab a hot dog, maybe enjoy yourself at the ballpark. Then we go into Saturday, left a 30% chance, but look at that. I mean, there's some drops in North Carolina. What's going on? The system's trying to pull away, and it's still throwing back a few drops, back toward Ahoskie, maybe towards Suffolk, but generally it's going to be trending drier by Saturday night. Friday morning, that's tomorrow. I've got some rain in North Carolina. I got lows around 70 in the peninsula, 69 Franklin, 69 Ahoskie, 69 Gloucester. Tomorrow afternoon, about 79. We'll be lucky to struggle to get there. But I think we're generally in that 77, 79 range tomorrow. 80 for North Carolina, and a better chance for showers there. Highs tomorrow, 77 Elizabeth City, the harbor, the harbor of hospitality. 77 in Duck and Cape Charles, and 79 in Hampton. And looking for a high Friday of 77 Moyock, 78 Gatesville, 78 in Hertford. Here's your first warning, WTKR News 3 7-day forecast. So 81, 82. Hey, I see a warming trend. How do you know? Because I can see temperatures going up, and they go into the low 90s by mid next week. So, yeah, it gets warmer, it turns hotter, and of course with dew points in the 70s, you're talking about a heat index, it's going to be closer to, you said it, about 100 to 105. Now, it has to reach 105 to trigger the National Weather Service, in order to trigger a heat advisory from the National Weather Service, 105 is their magic number. So if it feels like 105 or greater, you're going to see a heat advisory. But when you've got dew points and lows around 74, 76, that 91 is going to be closer, I think, to 100. Does that make sense? So it's not going to be comfortable, but like I said before, at some point we're going to go back to the coolness when? The 19th and 20th of August. It'll come back, just as it comes down from New England, which, speaking of which, that's where the Commanders are tomorrow night. Boy, I've covered it all. All right, we got to finish with happy shots because it is now about 8:19. I've gone a little bit long, but it's Thursday. This is my favorite day when we can give away some free pizza. This is from Buckrow Beach Clouds from Betty Photo Taker. Now, I'm not exactly a I don't know if that's really her name or just her handle. We'll go with the handle, right? We'll call it Betty. We love your name. And if you are a true photo taker, you have proven yourself with this gem of the clouds. Because this kind of summarizes what we're seeing today and what we're going to see again tomorrow over Buckrow Beach. Oh, a sunrise. Beautiful picture from Lisa. This comes by way of our WTKR photographers group. Sunrise at Chicks Beach. That's where I was with my wife this past weekend. We loved having that. We just had a, speaking of Chicks Beach, this was us Chicks Beach, and we found these old baby chick gulls. I call them baby chick because they're like baby seagulls. But when they're on Chicks Beach and they're baby chicks, I just call them baby chick gulls. But either way, they were having a good time. We were having a good time. And now that we're back to the maps, let me get you back to the Chicks Beach. Thank you, Lisa, for sharing that with us. At Hampton Sunset, William Wood, want to recognize you, my friend. What a beautiful picture with the sun in the background from Hampton. That might have been recent, could have been a couple weeks ago, but we appreciate you sharing it with us because we do appreciate your time. It is now 8:20. I think we've gone on long enough, but the stream here is now showing you the 7-day forecast. We talk about this a lot. There's a lot of changes that are going on, but if you are concerned about the heat, just make note you find some cooling centers next week. If that's your thing, you might need to go to the mall to get your steps in, go to the grocery store, plan on seeing a movie, whatever you need to do. But we've all probably been down this road. We feel like we're a hardy bunch. We've been down this road, but we will get through it as well. Just a reminder, it doesn't matter if the weather is sunny or if it's serious. Every day is a gift. Make the most of it in your neighborhood. We'll see you here next week. Take care.